113 or go to BrentExcavating.com. They're also hiring, so join the team today. Brent Excavating, a part of the Bauer brand, who reminds you, go big Brent.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
At Koppel Chevrolet GMC, we are thankful for so many things this year, starting with our great employees, a generous community, our military personnel, and most importantly, our loyal customer base that continues to drive that money-saving mile of Louisville. Hi, this is Sean Callahan, and on behalf of everybody at Koppel, we want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving and safe travels to wherever they may take you. Happy holidays from Koppel Chevrolet GMC.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
This year, give the gift of delicious food, incredible service, and a lasting memory with the Pillar Restaurant Group gift card. When you purchase a $50 gift card, you receive a $5 bonus card, or purchase a $100 gift card to receive a $20 bonus card. These cards can be used at all Pillar Restaurant Group locations, including Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, The Butchery, The Bakery, and all Lincoln Good Sense Deli Fresh Subs locations. Available for purchase at any of our concepts or online at prgnebraska.com.
So what's this new concept happening at 1040 O Street? There's 93.7 The Ticket, there's the Mill Coffee and Tea, and there's Grandma's Bake Shop and Beatrice Bakery? Well, yeah, it's all of those things. It's a place for the community to hang out, grab a drink and a bite, and just chill, or work, or meet, or chat, or whatever you want to do. 93.7 The Ticket, the Mill Coffee and Tea, Grandma's Bake Shop and Beatrice Bakery, all together at 1040 O Street.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Maryland's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome to it on a Monday. I'm Austin Norman inside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios in Lincoln, joined by my partner, the 9-year NBA vet, the Husker Hall of Famer, the back in the 402, Mr. Erick Strickland. Stricky, belated happy birthday weekend. Welcome back to Nebraska. How are you, my friend?
Man, doing it. I would have loved to most, spending my time there in the studio with you, man. But it was literally one of the craziest mornings of flying. Been up since 4:00 and got to the airport. We're halfway here. They find out on the plane that there is some form of, they can't de-ice. So going into high skies, not able to de-ice, make sure that there's no buildup. They couldn't do it. So we had to literally turn back around, go all the way back, another few hour delay, get back on, and finally get here just in time because I needed to make sure I was on the block today because my guy, I couldn't leave alone.
I appreciate that. You are a man of your word. You do everything you can to make it work, and we really appreciate that. It's Monday motivation. That's how we lead off every week here. You just hit a milestone. But for me, Strick, my Monday motivation boils down to two words only. Beat Creighton. Beat Creighton. That's it. On Sunday, we'll talk more about this. That's my Monday motivation. Where are you after birthday weekend?
Oh, my motivation is who we gonna find in the transfer portal. Like the motivation to find something significant in the transfer. I think it's a two-way street, right? I think you want to watch not only what we're hunting for in the transfer portal, but also who jumps in. So I think that is something to keep an eye on, is to really look at who is going to whether there's a lot of talk on the team. There's a lot of talk, on the outsides of the football program, that the people inside are content. The players feel good. They like the direction. They're excited about the what ifs. I'm sure it's pretty disappointing to them. So it's not a harp on, bang on you type of deal. You've got to be pretty disappointed that you're knocking at the door. You're at the doorstep. Everybody's looking in on you from the Ring doorbell and pumping and priming you to freaking get the bowl win. I mean, that could have been something uniquely special, right? And it ends up being a mediocre season, but was it mediocre? I think there's a lot of things, a lot of takeaways you can take from what they did this season, but on the meantime, in between time, it's got to hurt, right? So how do they really, really feel? And that's what you're going to see real shortly as to who's going to pop into. Now, do the new rules apply on the year coming, or is it 2025 where they're limiting the time frames on when guys can go into the portal or not?
I believe that is in effect already.
Okay.
I think that'll be for this upcoming cycle. And again, yeah, that's important to point out because the portal opens on December 4th. That's a week away. It's gonna be hot, here in a week. And to your point, I'm sure we'll talk more about this throughout the week, but if you're Nebraska, you can't sit and wait and try to clean up the leftovers. If you want a transfer portal quarterback, it's just like free agency, Strike. You've got to be one of the first ones to have a phone call out, place a text, have a meeting with one of these guys if you want any shot at landing one, right?
Yeah. I mean, just think of, we don't know how they all go, right? But you got to look at like DJ Uliangalale and, how that all worked out and panned out. And, how does Michael Penix Jr., guys like that, like, I'm saying, like, if you really you're going to need a program changer. Like that's what it's coming down to for me, as I'm looking at from the outside, not being on the inside. I'm looking at it from a standpoint of they've really got to hit. They need to hit. If you want to change the trajectory of your program very quickly, you've got to hit. So you go get them. Don't wait. Even if you're going to go get one of the FCS type quarterbacks that is really good. He's got all the skill, but you've got to do your due diligence this time. Like, you can't play and miss like you did on this last year.
No, one of the FCS guys that came to mind a couple of years ago was Cam Ward, who ended up at Washington State from Incarnate Word. There are going to be guys like that out there available.
Yeah.
If you have thoughts on Nebraska's transfer quarterback, throw some names out there just for fun on the text line 402-464-5685. That's brought to you by Starter Heyman Jewelers, or also on our streams brought to you by Starter Heyman, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. We have one name out there already, Strick. Jordan says Will Rogers from Mississippi State. They just hired Jeff Lebby, and we'll get into the coaching carousel as part of our college football weekend recap in hour number 2. Will Rogers would be good. I don't know if he fits exactly what Nebraska wants to do. And of course, you have to look at the price tag. That's just an integral part of these discussions. And Luke, you're a usual here on the text line during On the Block. We appreciate you. He asks, how many games would Nebraska have won with Kansas's quarterback, Jason Bean? Here's my take on this. Jalen Daniels is better than Jason Bean. There's a reason he was the starter until he got banged up. Jason Bean reminds me a lot of like a Spencer Sanders, an Adrian Martinez, a Sean Clifford type. He can put you on his back and win some games, but he just disappears some others, has turnover problems, especially in big moments. So Jason Bean might be more talented than what Nebraska had on the roster this year, but I still think he just fits the ethos of wild card. And you and I have talked about this before, Strick. Nebraska doesn't need a wild card at the quarterback position. They need stability and dependability.
Yeah, they need somebody that what you see doesn't lie. You know what I mean? Like not flashes of it, not semblance of it, not, oh wow, yeah. No, you want to see some consistency. And I'm talking about like this. You know what I mean? And then if they get a high, but their lows aren't too low. You don't get these big dips and highs and valleys and lows. You want some consistency, and that's they've got to do. It's different now. I mean, but it's dang near like what they do in the NFL. It's like, dang, you got to do some scouting. Like you need to be sending people out, like having, like you're saying, having talks with people in the surroundings. You need to be sending people to have discussions with people in conference. Like, what do you really think about him? Like, how are you guys scouting him? Like, what type of things are you using against him? Where do you think his weaknesses are? How are you trying to exploit? Like, I'm talking about getting into the deep weeds. If you're looking at someone, like not just no surface, not just some tape, some stuff you saw on Huddle. No, that ain't it. That ain't the move.
It's absolutely not. Again, if you have any thoughts on Nebraska football and the transfer portal, you can let us know on our text line or on our Honda of Lincoln hotline, 402-464-5685. We'll take a break. When we get back, we'll talk some more Husker football. Keep your thoughts coming. Was this year enough progress for Nebraska football? They win one more game than last year. They get to 5-3 before finishing 5-7. We will dive into just kind of a year in review. Was it progress? Was it enough progress? Successful at all? Successful enough? Let us know your thoughts on that and more. He's Erick Strickland. I'm Austin Norman. More on the block comes your way in just a minute.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake. Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Whether you're booking a trip to Lincoln for a football game or a volleyball weekend, the Scarlet Hotel at Innovation Campus is the place for you. The Scarlet Hotel is special on many levels, from the delicious Well and Good restaurant on the main floor to the coolest rooftop patio bar in Lincoln, the Barred Owl, on the top floor of the hotel with great views of the city and one of the coolest drink menus. Book your stay or book a staycation today at scarlethotelnebraska.com.
At Koppel Chevrolet GMC, we are thankful for so many things this year, starting with our great employees, a generous community, our military personnel, and most importantly, our loyal customer base that continues to drive that money-saving mile of Louisville. Hi, this is Sean Callahan, and on behalf of everybody at Koppel, we want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving and safe travels to wherever they may take you. Happy holidays from Koppel Chevrolet GMC.
This year, give the gift of delicious food, incredible service, and a lasting memory with the Pillar Restaurant Group gift card. When you purchase a $50 gift card, you receive a $5 bonus card, or purchase a $100 gift card to receive a $20 bonus card. These cards can be used at all Pillar Restaurant Group locations, including Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, The Butchery, The Bakery, and all Lincoln Good Sense Deli Fresh Subs locations. Available for purchase at any of our concepts or online at prgnebraska.com.
Constructors Inc., a Nebco company, is now hiring heavy equipment mechanics to maintain fleet equipment and vehicle operations. Constructors offers mechanics a competitive salary, 4-day work weeks with overtime options, a $5,000 hiring bonus, a tool allowance, and great benefits. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. Apply today for their mechanic positions. Visit constructorslincoln.com.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken lips. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
If your car has sent you to the sidelines, Eustace Body Shop can help. With gold-class certified technicians, OEM parts, and free loaner cars, Eustace Body Shop is your best choice this Husker season. And with 6 locations across central and eastern Nebraska, we've got you covered, whether you're rooting at home or you're headed to Memorial Stadium. Get a free online quote at EustaceBodyShop.com, and let's get you back in the game.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Austin Norman and Erick Strickland back with you here for On the Block. We're with you every weekday here from 2 to 4 p.m. Central Time, streaming worldwide on our free app. And, of course, a big thank you to Allo for sponsoring Channel 951. We will talk to Brian Munson on our Allo VIP line for Husker recruiting update. Been a few weeks since we've talked to Brian, so lots of ground to cover with him there. Stricky, let's go big picture here. It's hard to say that this was a successful season for Nebraska, going 5-7, missing out on a bowl game with the offense as pitiful as it was in terms of points per game output. But was the season successful enough? Not full progress made. Was there enough progress made in your eyes for Nebraska football in year one under Matt Rule?
I think so. I think they made progress. I think they've done a lot of great things. It's just unfortunate that there's some areas that they need to clean up, and we're very aware of that. One of the things that we're not saying that we expected them to go 9-5, 10 or 11-2 or whatever the case, 10-3. We didn't expect that, but we liked what we saw. Obviously, it was starting to look very Iowa-ish in some ways, and that's not fun football to watch. But the defense looked good. There's, I think the lines got to improve. I think that the running game has to improve. I think that the creativity has to improve. I think that the defense is solid and they can make additions. I think they've got some things to recruit off of. It's going to be hopeful. You just want to be hopeful that they continue to stay together. Like they're able to keep this unit, this core, this group striving for better. Had an opportunity. You don't want to bring new people in a whole bunch. Like you want to bring new people, but not a whole bunch, because it can change the dynamics that, the power structure, not that you always have power, but you don't understand what I'm saying. It can change. It can change how people deal with each other. Now, if you've been in the battle, you've been in the fight with somebody, now what I have, who I'm going up with, who I'm going to bang with. It's going to go down. This is how it's going to go down. And I know what to expect out of him. I know what to expect out of him. And I know what he's going to give me behind me. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's the type of thing that you want. Like, it's kind of like this, Austin. Synchronized swimming. Have you ever seen it?
I've seen it. It's mesmerizing.
Right? Like, that's when you have a group, a unit that's cohesively working together. And that's how pretty it looks, because you know what the next person's going to do and what the expectations are. That's what you do when you keep guys together. When guys keep going and coming. That's why I'm so impressed with Nebraska basketball right now, because it's not easy to do, to get a team to gel. That's why that trip was special. Going overseas, you get to go overseas, you get to be with somebody. It's us against the world. Don't nobody know you. You know, nobody really care about you. You just go out and hoop and get W's. And so you can see it starting to work with that group as well.
We will definitely talk some Nebraska basketball in hour number 2. Play some fact or fiction. What's real about Nebraska basketball after its 7-game runway into a really pivotal stretch of the season. But while we're on football, Stricky, on the text line, it's 1562 that says, have to stop sugarcoating things. The season was a failure. I'm going to stop there because I think it's fair to say the season record was a failure. 5-7, you didn't accomplish the goal of getting to a bowl game, and there was so much more on the table for this team. Shoulda, coulda, woulda beat Minnesota. Shoulda, coulda, woulda have won all 4 games in November. Michigan State, Maryland, Wisconsin, Iowa. Shoulda won a couple of them. Coulda won a couple of them. Woulda won a couple of them if quarterback was better, if there was more consistency on offense. But I'll say this. I'm with you in that I think there was progress made in determining who were players for the future. Even on offense, where it was a struggle. You saw flashes from Chubba Purdy. Is he the starter next year? Maybe, probably not. I guess we'll see, but you're okay having him around. Emmett Johnson was a revelation late in the year. Is he a starting number 1 workhorse running back? Maybe not. Looks like a useful piece. Jalen Lloyd and Malachi Coleman showed some things. Thomas Fidone stayed healthy for a full season. Disappeared at the end, but he was at least on the field. Offensive line wasn't perfect, was better than last year. And then we move to the defense, right? The bright spot of the year. You allow, right over 18 points a game. That's a top 15 mark nationally. You get the best years of their careers out of 2 defensive linemen in Ty Robinson and Nash Hutmaker, who are coming back. Jamari Butler makes plays. You work in a rotation of linebackers of different guys that are dealing with injuries. The secondary, Quentin Newsome was Quentin Newsome. Hartzog had his up and downs, but Omar Brown, after what he was, 2 seasons ago to this season, made a big jump. Deshaun Singleton didn't see the field, made a big jump before he got injured. Isaac Gifford played a role. Javen Wright stayed healthy and played a role. You get freshmen in Cam Lenhart and Princeville Uman Mielen making plays. Now,
and they're going to get better. They're going to get better. Yeah.
They sure are. So, and then even on special teams, Buschini took a little bit of a step back. Alvano wasn't great, but I wouldn't say he was any worse than Drew Brown was as a freshman. I still think that's a comparison for him to look at moving forward. And you definitely need more out of the return game. So all the deficiencies add up to an unsuccessful season in terms of the record, but it's hard for me to say that it was a complete failure of a season in the small picture, in the development of finding pieces for the future. But I do think there are plenty of Husker fans, Strick, who are tired of needing context, right? They're ready to measure a season by wins and losses. Either you did or you didn't, instead of having to take into account, all these injuries, year 1. I think a lot of Husker fans are ready for cut and dry, not context.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can really probably look at the Husker fans and say, what makes like Oregon State, who, had flashes or whatever. I mean, Nebraska had flashes last year. You know what I'm saying? Like you knew that once Mickey took over and things were starting to kind of come to light, and then Bill Bush kind of got that defense kind of rolling a little bit. You got a little bit continuity there. You could see flashes of it. And what you lose is you lose the big play guy in like Trey Palmer. You know what I mean? You lose a pretty good, consistent arm. Like, say what you will, I think Casey Thompson had a pretty good, consistent arm. Now, whether he stayed, he's still very injury prone. He probably could have got injured again. Well, I mean, who's to say? We don't know. It's hindsight. But he had a consistent arm. There's a lot of plays, like you said, a lot of situations that were left out on the field. Missed opportunities, missed throws, missed third down conversions, getting behind chains. Because you missed this pass that was just a little dink and dunk, and those things, or overthrew a pass that ends up being an intercept, that stuff adds up. And so if you don't have those, I think you have a whole different season. Let's just be honest about it. If you don't have it, I'm not gonna, as the texter said, sugarcoat it. No, it's terrible. It's not. No one's happy about it, but at the same time, I don't think we can write it off as total failure.
I'm with you on that. And that's where I go to a man named Ashley's text on the text line. Again, 402-464-5685 if you have thoughts, or drop a comment on any of our streams. Ashley says, I feel like we can say we're close and mean it right now. Nebraska showed over an entire season this defense is a good unit. The offense has 277 days to become just mediocre, and this team will be just fine. The offense has to take a big step. The defense has a step to take as well. The coaching staff has a step to take. Special teams have a step to take. I need to do more digging into this, Strick, but even if I give Nebraska fans PTSD to some degree, I'm going to say this. I almost wonder if this year for Nebraska is kind of like year one of Mike Riley, where Nebraska lost a lot of close games. There were some heartbreakers, but you had a good core of guys coming back. And here's the thing. That 2016 Nebraska team that started 7-0 faced a cupcake schedule. Nebraska's football schedule next year sets up really nicely with an offseason of development and progress. So maybe it would be a paper 7-0 record if Nebraska is able to get there next year. But what I'm going to be monitoring this offseason is who comes back, who comes in, who leaves, and is that core good enough to get Nebraska off to a good start so they don't go winless next November?
Yeah, I think you just got to be focused. You got to be laser focused on the details of what you need and what you're trying to accomplish. Like the goals and the expectations, I think throughout the season has been solidified. Like you know, look, we know we can't average under 20 points and expect to win. You know what I mean? Like we need to have some high powered, some big play, some money makers. We need to get some guys that can bust it open if we need to, right? Because that's what LSU does with Jaden Daniels and guys like that. Yeah, they don't have the big record, but they're guys that make plays like that can literally bust it open, but also can, you know, bust you open with that arm and just different things like that. There's going to be some guys out there. Who that's going to be, I don't know. I would say I think you lost out on Dylan Raiola. You know what I mean? I think if they would have broke through and could have gotten over, like if they would have won a couple of those games that they should have won, I think you might have been having another chance to possibly take a look at Dylan. Like, you know, like you could have a conversation and be like, listen, you know, we go to the next level if, you know, you able to come this way. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you can land him. I'm not saying that that's the case, but I'm saying I think you could have had a different conversation with him, you know, through back channels if you would have had a better look.
I think you're onto something there. We'll wrap up this segment with this year's Strick. Quarterback is what you led off with. That's the motivation in the transfer portal. So I'll give you the first word here. Big Bird asks, how do you balance quarterbacks that are in the portal versus other guys with potential that might be better that are sitting behind elite quarterbacks on elite teams?
Well, you've got your Carson Beck types. There's going to be guys like him that's just like they're old school like us. You know, they're going to stick it out and earn their way and have that kind of success. Then you've got guys that are sitting there, right? And for me, I think it's a wide open shot. Like, listen, two of them. I think you need to be bringing in two of them minimum. There needs to be two, and there needs to be a fight. Throw Purdy in the fight. Let Harburg, if he wants to fight. I'm not rolling with Sims, but throw him in there if he wants to get in the mix or move on. But at the same time, let them all fight it out. But I'm bringing two. Like I'm bringing two, and I'm letting you know. And I'm sorry, Kaylin, if Daniel, I love you, I like you, but I have. And he's a Bellevue West guy. I have a little apprehension that against, you know, the top competition in the state, you've got some weapons over there. You weren't able to score any points against Westside. And I know Westside is good. I trust that they're good. But you couldn't find nobody to get into the end zone at the high school level. it's not going to get easier.
It is not.
Now he could step up and be that man. Just depends on what kind of heart he's got. I don't know. We're going to see.
We just don't want to have to be relying on that in year one. Not as a freshman
part.
coming in with a step needing to be taken. Again, keep sending your thoughts. We have a lot on the text line we'll get to after this. It's 402-464-5685 if you want to get into the show. He's Strick. I'm Austin. This is On the Block. We're wrapping up hour one after this.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just the professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Vershawn Jackson for Brandt Excavating. Brandt's been in business for 29 years, and they specialize in a variety of things. If you're looking for someone to get the job done in precision demolition, excavating, trucking, mass grading, and site prep, Brandt is the place to call. To set up a quote or learn more, call Brandt Excavating at 402-474-4113 or go to BrandtExcavating.com. They're also hiring, so join the team today. Brandt Excavating, a part of the Bauer brand, who reminds you, go Big Red!
After a long, hot summer, are you ready for fall? What about your home? Is your heating system ready for cooler temperatures ahead? Be sure and call Bryant for your fall heating check. No matter what brand of equipment you own, Bryant's trained technician will thoroughly clean and inspect your furnace or heat pump to make sure you stay warm and comfortable. Call today to schedule your home heating check. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. We do whatever it takes.
Constructors Inc., a Nebco company, is now hiring heavy equipment mechanics to maintain fleet equipment and vehicle operations. Constructors offers mechanics a competitive salary, 4-day work weeks with overtime options, a $5,000 hiring bonus, a tool allowance, and great benefits. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. Apply today for their mechanic positions. Visit constructorslincoln.com.
This year, give the gift of delicious food, incredible service, and a lasting memory with the Pillar Restaurant Group gift card. When you purchase a $50 gift card, you receive a $5 bonus card, or purchase a $100 gift card to receive a $20 bonus card. These cards can be used at all Pillar Restaurant Group locations, including Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, The Butchery, The Bakery, and all Lincoln Good Sense Deli Fresh Subs locations. Available for purchase at any of our concepts or online at prgnebraska.com.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, expecting increasing cloud cover throughout the day. It'll be a little bit breezy as well. We'll see a high of around 43. Tonight, mainly clear skies are expected with a low of around 19. And tomorrow, most sunny skies will return. We'll see a high of around 46. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're wrapping up hour one of On the Block. I'm Austin Norman, joined by Erick Strickland. On the Block brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Make sure to check them out starting on Wednesday down at 29th and Pine Lake. Strick, you mentioned this a little bit. We have Rob on the YouTube stream mentioning this, a couple people on the text line as well, saying Nebraska is just a quarterback away from being better, being improved. And yes, that's going to get a lot of headlines, but getting a transfer portal quarterback is more than just wanting a quarterback. You know, there are plenty of programs out there who think they're just a quarterback away. It's one thing to want a quarterback. It's another to be able to pitch him on the vision. It's another to say, hey, look at all these weapons we have around you at wide receiver and tight end. We have a solid running game and offensive line to support you. Because yes, they'll look at the money. They'll look at the NIL. They'll look at all of that, but they're also going to look at the scheme that's being run. They're going to look at the surrounding pieces. They're going to look at even some, soft factors of, do they want to be in Lincoln? Is their family close or far away? Is it a fresh start that they need? Nebraska's not alone in wanting, arguably needing a transfer portal quarterback. Even if they are just a quarterback away, it's going to be an uphill battle for Nebraska to attract the caliber of quarterback that I think fans want.
I mean, yeah, that's going to be the case. But look, here's where I have some hope, because Corvallis isn't a great place for somebody to want to go to. Neither is Pullman. I mean, those Lincoln to me is definitely better than any of those places, and yet it's still they went. So I that's where I have a little bit of hope. I actually think if you look at the young talent that's there, you look at whether you like Rule or not, I think there's some numbers that poked out at me with regards to Rule, and some of those being like his record against top 25 teams. I think it's like 2-20 something. I had it, but again, the travel didn't allow me to put all my stuff together, because I literally walked in the house, threw my computer up, tried to do as much as I could on the plane. But it's some things that you kind of got to watch. My dad, who's from Carolina, he lives in Charlotte. He's talking about Rule and saying, yeah, I knew Rule was, there's some naysayers out there. I think his track record speaks, but also we just got to be careful as to not get over, reliant, because he hasn't been able to do it. His track record shows that. Not at Baylor, not at Temple. And even though he had turnarounds, he still hasn't shown winning the big games. So I think we just have to allude to that and make sure that we're aware. But at the same time, I still think we have hope that we can land something. But they're going to have to go out. Matt Davison and that crew, they're going to have to figure it out, because if you want him, you're going to have to go get him. And that's the lay of the land of the day. You're going to have to go. And when I say go get him, I mean, I'm not talking about show up at grandma's house with the old duffel bags like probably they used to do in the old school, allegedly. And then or you just got to figure out some NIL situations and try to get them in here and hopefully sell them, the opportunity.
Nebraska ponied up for a quarterback last offseason, didn't really work out. You hope it doesn't scare people away, donors and boosters from doing it again. But Nebraska's got to get it right, plain and simple. I think it is the defining question of the offseason for Nebraska is, can it get right at quarterback? Because you can spend money, you're going to have to spend money, but people won't be willing to pay if it's not worth it again. So
ROI, baby.
ROI. Those 3 letters.
Yeah. You want a return on that investment. And I think we've missed, and I think that's what you hope we don't have the fear of, because I think we've missed on a few big NIL guys. And, obviously I still think we missed on O'Shawn Mathis, and I think we missed on, also Sam. So, probably those were the bigger guys that I think were in the NIL space, but hopefully we won't.
I think Wednesday we should sit down and just go through position by position. Does Nebraska need a guy at this position out of the transfer portal? Because it's still pretty big recruiting class, and we'll talk to Brian Munson about that here in just about half an hour. But Nebraska is probably going to be looking at more than just a quarterback. Plenty of other positions I think could use a little bit of a shot in the arm. So stay tuned. We will definitely get to that at some point this week during On the Block. We got to step aside for our top of the hour break. When we get back, Nebraska men's basketball, fact or fiction? The 7-0 Cornhuskers reached that record for the first time since 1992-93. They win yesterday by a baker's dozen. We'll get into a little bit of that game, but big picture for Nebraska with Creighton coming to town on Sunday. We'll talk to the Husker Hall of Famer about that. He's Erick Strickland. I'm Austin Norman. More On the Block when we get back.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Whether you're booking a trip to Lincoln for a football game or a volleyball weekend, the Scarlet Hotel at Innovation Campus is the place for you. The Scarlet Hotel is special on many levels, from the delicious Well and Good restaurant on the main floor to the coolest rooftop patio bar in Lincoln, the Barred Owl, on the top floor of the hotel with great views of the city and one of the coolest drink menus. Book your stay or book a staycation today at scarlethotelnebraska.com.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Service Ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Ready to make this season unforgettable? Celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union's low-rate debt consolidation loan. Combine all those bills into one affordable monthly payment with quick access to funds. Imagine all the extra cash for holiday shopping sprees, festive parties, or that well-deserved vacation. Stop by any of their branches or visit libertyfirstcu.com to find out more about their low-rate debt consolidation loan. Make this holiday season one to remember and celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
If your car has sent you to the sidelines, Eustis Body Shop can help. With gold-class certified technicians, OEM parts, and free loaner cars, Eustis Body Shop is your best choice this Husker season. And with 6 locations across central and eastern Nebraska, we've got you covered, whether you're rooting at home or you're headed to Memorial Stadium. Get a free online quote at eustisbodyshop.com, and let's get you back in the game.
The most recommended Eustis Body Shop. That's who we are.
The holidays are drawing closer, and there's not many things better than getting the gift of relaxation. Not just for yourself, but for anyone in your life. During November, for every service you get at the Body Shop, you get entered into their drawing for a free massage gift certificate equal to your last service. This goes all the way to the week before Christmas, so book your appointments now at thebodyshoplincoln.com and treat yourself and loved ones today. The Body Shop at 48th and A. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
At Koppel Chevrolet GMC, we are thankful for so many things this year, starting with our great employees, a generous community, our military personnel, and most importantly, our loyal customer base that continues to drive that money-saving mile of Louisville. Hi, this is Sean Callahan, and on behalf of everybody at Koppel, we want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving and safe travels to wherever they may take you. Happy holidays from Koppel Chevrolet GMC.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
That it is. Hour number 2 of the show comes your way here on a Monday. Do you want to shout out Nebraska volleyball getting the number 1 overall seed in the NCAA volleyball tournament? Huskers will be at home until the Final Four, should they make it that far. So best of luck to Coach John Cook and his team. We spent a lot of time on Husker football in hour number 1. Give us any thoughts you have. We'll talk some recruiting with Brian Munson in 15, 20 minutes or so. But in just a sec, we're going to turn the page to Husker basketball. They're 7-0. We want your thoughts on the Huskers as they head into Creighton week. No game for the Huskers between yesterday, their win over Cal State Fullerton, and Sunday against Creighton. We do want to shout out Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. You see it below me here on the stream. Big shout out to Charles and his crew. Hey, here's the thing, Stricky. I was lucky. Charles prepared the Pearson's Thanksgiving meal, and they were kind enough to bring some in on Black Friday and share with those of us who were here for pregame and postgame for Nebraska, Iowa. Never had Mary Ellen's Thanksgiving. Worth it. Job well done, Charles and his crew. Cannot wait for them to be back open here in the end of this week.
And you can never go wrong with a Mary Ellen's feast, that's for sure. I enjoyed it was good to hang out with my mom and to have my family. Pops came in town. It was cool. It was good. It was a good time, but definitely I would have loved to have shared in the partakings of those wonderful Mary Ellen's plates, that's for sure.
I'll throw this out for stream too. If you see me looking over my left shoulder and I'm distracted, that's because Charlie Proper Interiors is here putting up our Christmas decoration. So we've got little baubles hanging down from the ceiling. The Christmas tree went up, all decked out. And of course, red and white 93.7 The Ticket colors. So from all of us here at 93.7 The Ticket, a huge shout out and thank you to Charlie Proper Interiors for getting us ready for the Christmas season. Nick and Donovan have come in. They're decorating our entire station. If you want help with greenery, trees, lights, and more, don't look anywhere else but to Charlie Proper Interiors at charlieproper.design. All right, Stricky, let's get into Nebraska basketball. They win 85-72 yesterday. we're going to play a little fact or fiction, just from your vantage point, what's real about this Nebraska team and what's not. Fact or fiction, Nebraska men's basketball has good chemistry and good connectivity on the court this year.
I would definitely say that's a fact. And I would say it like LaMelo Ball said it on his commercial when he was, I think it was an AT&T commercial, where he said, that's a fact. That's what I see. It is definitely good to see that unit continually work together. What you're seeing is, I want to say it's the third time. Let me see. I think I had a note of it. It's this group of 5 scorers, 5 players that score in double figures on this team. It's the second time this season and the first since the opening that it's happened. So you're seeing they're getting really close, but the fact that they're able to put guys on this floor, one night it could be Bryce, the other night it's Rink Mass, Casey goes nuts the other night. Then you're starting to see the emergence of other guys doing things well. And we talk about that all the time, is don't come in trying to do anything outside of what you do well. If you do that well, you will have the success of the team, because you will excel in a specific, you'll be needed in a specific area. You'll help us here in this specific area. So that's what I'm starting to see emerge out of that cohesiveness.
A big thing that you've talked about early in this season is the number of assists to the number of made field goals. And I think the connectivity shows up in that stat. I mean, Nebraska averaging 17 assists per game on 26 made field goals per game. I think that speaks to that. So fact or fiction, Nebraska will be able to maintain that ratio as it gets into Big Ten play.
Well, I think so. I think what they're being very astute in, I believe, and I'm not down there enough to know, but I can see and I can listen to Coach Hoiberg and the things that he's saying in post game and the things that he's saying in pressers. I can understand that this is what they're teaching. They're watching film, but it's not just the watching of film, because you could be in a film room. You guys who have been students or in college or whatever the case, you could be in the film room. You could be in there watching it, but are you really watching it, right?
Taking it, eating popcorn.
It's watching you, right? It's watching you, but I think they're really being attentive to the things in the areas or the mistakes that they're making, realizing, because there was instances against Ryder, there was instances and some against Lindenwood where you saw just stupid turnovers. It was just like, so your turnover numbers are inflated, not because the defense is just that great. It's because it's just stupid turnovers, like, making sure, or jumping in the air and getting caught and then trying to do something crazy. It was stupid turnover. So if they do that, as you've seen as of late, their ratio, I think, over the last 4 games has been 2-1 from assists to turnovers.
Right. They've taken really good care of the ball, had 2 turnovers in total against Duquesne, and they needed every single one of those possessions to end up grinding that game out and winning by 10. Let's stick on the offense for this one here, Strick. Nebraska shooting 34.5% from three-point shooting, from three-point range so far this year. Fact or fiction, Nebraska is a better shooting team than 35%.
No doubt about it, because they're getting good looks. Early on, they were just missing, but they hit a season high. They hit 12 3-pointers in the win, in this last win, and it's the 3rd time that they've hit the over 10 mark in this season. But it's not even that they're overly shooting in volume. I actually think they're taking better shots, and I don't care what you say, Austin or listeners. If you continue to take good shots, you're going to make more than you're going to miss. So I think they're going to get better at that, as long as they're continuing to just take the good shots that they're taking and not trying to hustle up shots or find shots. And here's where they also make mistakes, is you'll have, I would say, sometimes 2 to 3 of those guys do heat checks. And those are 3-point heat checks. And so that takes your percentage down as well, because you feeling yourself. You just come down and you just like, yo, this is the one. And it's not the one. And so you get those sometimes that happen too.
We're playing Nebraska men's basketball fact or fiction here on the block. If you have any thoughts on fact or fiction, let us know. 402-464-5685. Let's flip to the defense here for just a second here, Strick. Nebraska, in terms of the raw numbers, is doing pretty well. Their points per game right now is sitting at about 62. That's a top 30 mark nationally. Fact or fiction, Nebraska is a sub 65 points per game good defensive team.
Yes, that's I think that's a fact. Now here's the problem. And here's where the issue lies, but this is again going to go back to they're addressing it. Are they going to pay attention? Because if they don't, then it's going to be fiction very quickly. Hoiberg talked about that. He said, he thought that their first shot defense was better when in the second half. It can't be halves. It's got to be just a consistency from, the sixth man to the 15th man on there. Whenever you get into the game, that's what we do. We're first shot defense, but then here's the other issue. Rebounding. More opportunities lead to potential more buckets, and you can't always rely on a team shooting bad because the percentages on second chance opportunities normally go up because it's kind of a scramble. Guys kind of get lost. They don't find their guy. You kick it, boom, you rotate, boom, there's another ones are wide open, and usually bang, there's some money involved in second chance opportunities, right? It's kind of like if you're golfing, it's like a Bubba shot. You know what I mean? Like your first one, you shake it into the woods, but then you hit that Bubba shot right on the screws, and it goes right to the freaking flag, and you like, oh, you can't use that one, my boy. Oh man, there's no mulligans. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's kind of how it is, man. They've got to just continue to hone in those areas that Fred Hoiberg is talking to them about, and I think they'll be able to do that.
Fact or fiction, perimeter defense is the biggest concern for this Nebraska men's basketball team.
I think in some areas, I think there's some lineups where the defense is really strong. I think if you put a lineup out there like this, if you put a lineup out there like Keisei Tamanaga, CJ Wilcher, Eli Rice, Rink Mast, and someone else, right? Mm-hmm. You can throw in Juwan Gary, but he'll help them. So, I mean, if you throw out a lineup like that, you're probably going to be a little bit deficient on the defensive side of things. You know what I'm saying? But if you mix in a good crew of those guys, like you have Jamarcus out there who can hound really well on the defensive side. Bryce actually plays pretty good defense and moves his feet very well. Alec and those guys, Jop, he's very good, even though he's raw, but he's very good at moving his feet. But if you have Blaze out there, right? Blaze, right. I think in some ways has some good qualities, but because he'll take charges and he'll do other things, but he also has some deficiencies. I think if it's just going to depend on the lineup mix. If you have a good lineup mix, there's ways that you can cover yourself and not be overly exposed. I think they have the ability to get exposed, but I don't think they'll get overly exposed because I think they're aware of that and they do good lineup matching.
The reason I throw that one out to you, Strick, is if I look at the last few games for Nebraska, Jordan Pope of Oregon State went off. You saw Rozier from Duquesne go off, and then I think it was Clark in the second half. And then Max Jones almost had a career high in the first half. These are all guards that can score, and the guard slate isn't going to get any easier. Creighton has some good ones. Michigan State has two of the best in the conference. Northwestern, Maryland, Ohio State, Wisconsin, Michigan, they all have good guards. I think Jamarcus competed yesterday. Max Jones got his buckets. Sam Hoiberg committed a couple shooting fouls trying to guard Max Jones. But I was really impressed with the job that Bryce Williams and Juwan Gary did on Max Jones. Now, it's hard to say anyone limited a guy that, shot over 50%, hit a few threes and went off for 30 points. But Bryce Williams' intelligence, IQ, and savvy mixed with Juwan Gary's athleticism and just, for lack of a better phrase, that dog that he has on the defensive end. I think those two guys might be Nebraska's best answer to a Walker and a Hogard type, but then you need someone else to guard like a Malik Hall from Michigan State, for example. So I hope that Nebraska's guards can pick it up on the defensive end, whether that's more ball pressure for more steals, it's shooting more passing lanes, it's being up in the jersey a little bit more so that Nebraska doesn't have to slide Williams and Gary further down the lineup and get exposed on the wing.
Good point. That's a good point. I think that is something to really think about as far as their lineup matching. We still haven't got a chance to see Ramel Lloyd Jr. yet, so we don't know to the effect. I think the only reason Eli's not playing that much is not anything to do with his talent or his ability, because we know he's got a burner on him. But I think it's just his defense right now. I think he just doesn't move his feet well, and I think that's one of the areas that they're good. You're gonna have to go earn it. You're gonna have to go earn it. You're gonna have to get. I mean, that's the way I came into Nebraska. I understood that this was a very deep team. We had a great recruiting class, and I had to try to figure out how I was going to get on the court. Pikowski and that group, Jamar Johnson was there. Obviously there was great senior leadership, and I think the defense is the way to do it. You go out there and just say, I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to lock you down. I'm going to stop you. And there's nothing, there's something offense. Good offense always beat good defense if it's just your night. But you know what I mean? That's how you're going to earn it. And I think that's what Fred Hoiberg is basically saying to these guys. And you can hear it on some of the pressers he's having.
Absolutely. One more fact or fiction before a little more big picture. Yesterday in the 85-72 win over Cal State Fullerton, Nebraska played 9 guys. You have the usual starting lineup of Williams, Lawrence, Tominaga, Mast, and Alec. Then you have 4 guys come in off the bench. CJ Wilcher, Sam Hoiberg, Juwan Gary, and then 9 minutes for Jerron Coleman. Strick, fact or fiction, that's Nebraska's lineup come January and February.
I think it's fiction.
Ooh,
because
okay.
I personally think that it's going to be a 10 to 11 man, but it's going to depend on how well somebody's playing. I think it's going to be a solid 8 to 9, kind of teetering on 9, but there's going to be that 9-10 guy that's going to be that test market. Because if that person gets in there and he's doing something special or defensively or rebounding or something that's helping to be an impact on that team, he's going to end up getting more minutes. So I think it's going to be a shift, depending on, because guys are going to get tired. Guys are going to be dealing with class and different things and assignments and responsibilities, and that can wear heavy on you. So then another guy may be able to just step in. That's what the depth of this team potentially has the ability to do, is to do that and say, it's okay, man. Like, have a conversation. Let's talk about, are you all right? Everything going on? What's going on in your life? Coaches can have those type of conversations with them because you want to know that. Are you dealing with something at home? Is mom okay? You want to do it because that stuff can carry with you onto the court. You don't want that. You want to be able to say, okay, listen, handle your business. We're gonna give a little shot here, but handle your business, get your mind right so you can come back, be fresh, and give us what we need.
Gavin, we see you going nuts there on the YouTube stream. Appreciate you tuning in. All right, Strick, we'll wrap up the segment with this. Nebraska up to number 46 in KenPom. The AP poll today, Nebraska did get a vote. They were ranked 22nd in one writer's ballot. That's worth 4 points. Huge game coming up on Sunday. They welcome Creighton down to Pinnacle Bank Arena. Now, just like football went on the road and beat Iowa last year, basketball went on the road and beat Creighton up in Omaha. Creighton coming off a bad loss to Colorado State. They will play Oklahoma State here before they come to Lincoln. Really curious to see how that game goes. Strick, Nebraska basketball, men's basketball, is through that runway. They still have home games ahead of them, but they're through that 7-game runway, that chemistry building phase. Is this next 4-game stretch, Creighton, Minnesota, Michigan State, and Kansas State, the defining pivotal stretch to tell us what this team is?
If you're on the stream, you see my head going vigorously. Yes, this is what all of this scheduling was doing for this team. There should be no one they're scared of. There should be no one that they're frightened of. They should still be able to play with the same type of poise. The speed is going to increase. The defense is the intensity is going to increase. But they face different types of challenges in this, again, with Duquesne and those games and the game up there against Oregon State. Those type of games are games that enable you the physicality, but that's what Fred is wanting. He wanted physicality. This is why he's talking about that now. We don't need slack now. We need physicality back. We need defensive intensity back. We need first defensive assignments locked down, early on. We don't need it to be in the second half, but one of the other things he talked about is pushing. I love that Jamarcus is pushing the ball. He has 12 assists in the last 3 games and has not turned the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's going to be pivotal for the success of the team. And you're seeing guys starting to fill their roles. They're starting to understand where they fit. They're starting to understand how they can be better. You're starting to see that because now he jumped into double figures with a 6-assist game. That's solid for Nebraska. If they can get him to do that, just pop in over the 10 point mark and 10, 11, 12 points with high assist numbers and no turnovers. And that could have been more because guys just didn't run with him in some instances, right? He pushed and guys weren't there to get with him. They got some opportunities, but he just wasn't there.
Huskers and Blue Jays again Sunday, December 3rd. There was a tweet put out by the Nebraska men's basketball account. It was red. It had the lock on it. Unsure exactly what that is. I don't know if that's going to mean a red out. I don't know if that's going to be, shirts or towels or nothing more than just, hey, locked in or protect the vault. Huge, huge, huge opportunity for Nebraska men's basketball at 3 o'clock on Sunday. We'll definitely talk more about that game as we get closer to the end of the week. And definitely have some post-game breakdown then, probably during Husker Rewind with Melby and Tom here on Sunday. He's Strick. I'm Austin. We're going to step aside, get Brian Munson, our recruiting insider from On3 Husker Online here on the Horn. We'll talk some Husker football recruiting with Brian Munson as we continue on the block in just a sec.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Great news. I just got the State Farm Personal Price Plan on our home and auto insurance.
You told our agent about my thing for romance novels?
No, you don't have to get that personal. Our agent just helped me choose affordable options to create a personalized price just for us.
Oh, sweet. Then you won't believe the love triangle Jen is in now.
Call your local State Farm agent Vinny Krekak at 402-474-1173.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
So what's this new concept happening at 1040 O Street? There's 93.7 The Ticket, there's the Mill Coffee and Tea, and there's Grandma's Bake Shop and Beatrice Bakery? Well, yeah, it's all of those things. It's a place for the community to hang out, grab a drink and a bite, and just chill, or work, or meet, or chat, or whatever you want to do. 93.7 The Ticket, the Mill Coffee and Tea, Grandma's Bake Shop and Beatrice Bakery, all together at 1040 O Street.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today. You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
If your car has sent you to the sidelines, Eustace Body Shop can help. With gold-class certified technicians, OEM parts, and free loaner cars, Eustace Body Shop is your best choice this Husker season. And with 6 locations across central and eastern Nebraska, we've got you covered, whether you're rooting at home or you're headed to Memorial Stadium. Get a free online quote at EustaceBodyShop.com, and let's get you back in the game.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Constructors Inc., a Nebco company, is now hiring heavy equipment mechanics to maintain fleet equipment and vehicle operations. Constructors offers mechanics a competitive salary, 4-day work weeks with overtime options, a $5,000 hiring bonus, a tool allowance, and great benefits. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. Apply today for their mechanic positions. Visit constructorslincoln.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just the professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
After a long, hot summer, are you ready for fall? What about your home? Is your heating system ready for cooler temperatures ahead? Be sure and call Bryant for your fall heating check. No matter what brand of equipment you own, Bryant's trained technician will thoroughly clean and inspect your furnace or heat pump to make sure you stay warm and comfortable. Call today to schedule your home heating check. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. We do whatever it takes.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? At Warhorse Sportsbook, their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino in Lincoln or Horseman's Park in Omaha, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right, back with you here on The Block. I'm Austin Norman. Stricky taking a little break as we talk to Brian Munson of Husker Online. He joins us on our VIP line brought to you by Aloe Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Brian Munson, my friend, it has been too long. How are you?
I am doing well, man. How are you?
Glad to hear it. Yeah, no complaints here other than Nebraska football not going to a bowl game. And that's really where I want to start with you, Brian. If you look at the 5-7 record, it's hard to say the season was a success on the macro level, but I don't think I'm wrong in saying there were plenty of developmental successes on both offense and defense on the micro level. Is that fair to say?
I think that is fair to say. I mean, obviously everybody was very optimistic, I think, through, the undefeated October that this team was bowl bound and then couldn't get it done in November. I don't think that surprised too many folks. I think a lot of people had it at that 5-7 on the cusp of being the 6-6 team. I think if people really understood, the challenges that this team had, I think, at the early onset, if you said that you were going to make 2 quarterback changes and you were going to lose Gabe Ervin for the season again very early, and you're going to have all these turnovers and interceptions and things like that, but you were going to have this amazing defense, you probably would have put it into that bucket anyway, if not lower. I think the defense really kept the games, closer than what they should have been in some cases, and a couple of goal line stands kind of come to mind. And I think that's one thing to kind of remember there. It's just how close and yet how far this team is. I mean, because you still have, gaps within special teams. You're still trying to figure out what your offensive identity kind of looks like. You seem to be skill position seasoning away, if not some dudes away from really being able to kind of go out there and execute and do the things that you want to do on the offense. So I think to your point, the micro level is interesting. You get the Lenhart, and you get Prince Will, and you get Van Poppel, and you get this tremendous improvement out of Hutmacher, and you know, all these other guys. And when you kind of put that defense together, because I was a skeptic of the 3-3-5. I really was. I think there were a lot of people that would have joined me on that side of the fence too. But I think that after everything was said and done, and what Tony White was able to do, and kind of get that magic together, it was actually a very fun season on that side of the house. But I think ultimately still some of the nastier things kind of reared their ugly head, particularly in the month of November.
We know you're the Nebraska recruiting guy, and we'll get to that here in just a little bit, but obviously you're tapped in outside of Nebraska circles as well. What's the conversation about Nebraska from other places after year one of Matt Rule?
I mean, it's kind of funny. Like, they kind of see it as like the same old Nebraska, but then the people that actually are like watching the game, like I've got too many Iowa fans friends, and I got to really think about adjusting my friends.
Yeah, come on, Brian, what are you doing?
Yeah, they came out of the woodwork to talk to me on Friday. And it's kind of funny because some of them would just rather rub into your face that that Nebraska is staying home for another year and not going to a bowl game. And at the same time, there are those that were just like, oh, you guys are like so close, and we're awful. Like, the offense is terrible, and how we've won 10 games would not be able to do anything offensively. I think that there's kind of mixed reviews, and I think that some folks are thinking Nebraska's a little bit closer to what it is, that they're trying to accomplish, and they're just a couple guys away. And I think some of those folks, and probably more of my personal friends, are the ones that are kind of enjoying the lack of success currently by Nebraska because they know it irritates me.
We'll dive into the offense here first, Brian, starting at the quarterback position. That's been a lot of the conversation here. And we've had a lot of people say today, and even on our post-game shows, that Nebraska is just a quarterback away. Get a quarterback and the whole team looks better. Nebraska probably goes, 9-3. And I have no reason or no way to dispute that. But I think it's a little reductionist and simplistic to say you're just a quarterback away. Just go get a quarterback, because it makes it sound a lot easier than it actually is. Like, just how big of a challenge will it be for Nebraska to both find a quarterback in the transfer portal, should they want to pursue one, and develop Daniel Kaelin into a difference maker at quarterback once he gets to campus?
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think the other side of that is too, is like, if you missed Odd Sims and you kept Casey Thompson, would Thompson have the kind of season this year as he did last year? Because I would tell you that he was, very ultra dependent on Trey Palmer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think then it's systematic, it's personnel related. You have a lot of young guys. I don't think anybody intended or planned on hearing Jalen Lloyd's name be announced twice for scoring touchdowns. I don't think that was ever supposed to be part of the plan this year. I mean, he obviously has a lot of athleticism and explosiveness and a lot of straight line speed. And I know folks were probably a little bit more excited about Malachi Coleman, and Coleman's going to get there. It's just, those guys need time. They need some time to develop. And a lot of players were thrown into the weeds on this one and said, you're going to have to step up. We've lost these guys. You're going to lose your red shirt. You're going to have to do this for us this year. And are you ready? And you're going to grow, and don't worry about it. We got you. So I think all that kind of being said, I don't agree with the folks that are saying we're just a quarterback away. Now, statistically, it absolutely supports it, because of basically the low number of attempts versus the high number of interceptions. The ratio is ugly.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredibly ugly. But I don't think I blame 100% of that on the quarterback. I think a fair majority of them are on the quarterback, but I think you have to push some towards the inexperience at the skill position. I think you have to push some of that as well towards the inability to kind of create a pocket and allowing maybe even the quarterback to reset the pocket, after 2.5 seconds and kind of step up and do something. They were unable to do any of that. And I feel like, so you're looking at things at multiple levels now, skill position wise. And I think just the establishment base, I know Nebraska's run stats, they stayed pretty consistent, but I think as you kind of go on and we talk about, Ramir and Gabe and the fumble problems with Anthony Grant and finally finding a guy like a ray of light, like Emmett Johnson. Like if you don't find Emmett Johnson, later on in the season, I don't know what Nebraska's doing at running back.
Mm-hmm.
You really needed to take some pressure off of the team, off of Grant, allow him to get some confidence back and put back together. But I don't see it all as being like, Nebraska just needs to find a quarterback and you're done. I don't think that's the case at all.
So to that point, then, I think a lot of people would say you always have to get better on the offensive line, and I wouldn't disagree. Maybe a second pass-catching tight end is a little further down the list. But, Brian, if you're on Nebraska's staff and you have the choice between getting a true number one wide receiver or a true number one workhorse starting running back out of the portal this year, if you're Nebraska, which basket do you put more of your eggs into trying to get?
Wide receiver. And that's a very simple answer for me, and I'll tell you why. It's kind of how the NFL is treating the running back position. It's kind of like what I just said about Emmett Johnson. Emmett Johnson was a bit of an afterthought. He's sitting down the list, at fourth, maybe fifth string to begin the season. He was really kind of an afterthought coming out of Minnesota. The Gophers didn't offer him. He was really kind of a late offer by Nebraska. And I'll be honest with you, I liked him better as a defensive prospect. I thought he was good on both sides of the football, but I liked him better on defense. So if you're kind of considering that, and we're also talking about, some other running backs that are one 2024 guy that was in last weekend as an unofficial visitor, two guys that have official visits set in December. Colorado just lost a 4-star running back. There's running backs that are out there, I think, that Nebraska could go out there and tap into and basically bring them along. I'm not so certain, though, that, you can count on just seeing automatically the wide receivers, just stepping up and seasoning themselves overnight, particularly when you see, guys like Kemp, that are no longer going to be there. I think you're losing some of that guidance, some of that leadership there at that position. Not saying that, you can't get that from a coaching perspective, but I think you want to go find a demonstrated, proven guy someplace that's done something, most probably more from like a Big Ten, SEC, ACC style, kind of conference, somebody that's seen some competition, seen some dudes, and plug them in as your number one. I mean, I think that's really what Nebraska's got to be focused on, is trying to find that guy at wide receiver.
Nebraska probably thought it had it in Billy Kemp this year. I don't know if that was more usage, more role, more scheme dependent, but despite being Nebraska's leading receiver, I don't think Billy Kemp necessarily lived up to the, Samori Toure, Trey Palmer type billing. But let's switch sides of the ball here real quick, Brian, to the defense. The defensive line, big improvement. Linebackers, solid. A lot of improvement in the defensive backfield. But one of the keys to this 3-3-5 defense, we were told all offseason, was the jack position, that kind of hybrid defensive end, linebacker. Nebraska got some contribution from a guy you mentioned before, Prince Willie Monmielen, but not a lot out of its two transfers in Chief Borders and MJ Sherman at that position. That kind of outside linebacker, pass rush, havoc creating hybrid type is a guy that Nebraska hasn't had in really far too long. I think that's a missing piece to this defense. If they get production from that position, that's huge. How hard is it to find a difference maker at that position, either out of the transfer portal or in just traditional high school recruiting?
It's difficult. I mean, those guys carry a lot of value. If you've got a demonstrated guy that's disruptive and can go out there and, can go pin his ears back and go get the quarterback, I mean, that's so valuable. I mean, I'm going to jump to another position for you really quick, but I'm going to tell you why a guy is on the map at all for other teams. But look at Carlin Jones. Carlin Jones ended the season as the number 3 leader in sacks in the state of Texas at an interior defensive line position. That's why he's getting noticed by Ohio State. So if you're looking for guys that are disruptive, that are playing that position of jack linebacker, the guy that can either be standing up 2-point, down 3-point, trunked out of the 9, or 7, and kind of just pinning their ears back and going and getting the quarterback. Those guys are incredibly valuable because they're the ones that are supposed to be doing that. But when you could find a guy that's doing it from a 2-point or 3-point every single time, line up as a 1 or a 3 or a 4, that's pretty incredible. So I do agree with you. I think that, you got Princewell that was kind of doing it, but Borders didn't really have an impact like you had thought. Sherman as well. I think that they had their touches and they have their ways of kind of probably putting their value into maybe even the guys' development and maybe getting those other guys on the football field. So maybe there's some things behind the scenes, but I think that, I think Nebraska is got some guys. You got like McGahee that's out there. You got Jackson Lee that's a big time edge down here and out of Frisco, Texas. I think there's a couple dudes that are coming up there that have got some athleticism. It's a young position, but I think that Nebraska can throw more bodies at it than it ever has before, and that's probably about as positive a thing as you can talk about at that position.
We'll wrap up with this here, Brian. Nebraska had a home game to end up against Iowa, also had a home game against Maryland earlier in November. What were you hearing about the traditional high school recruiting? Anything noteworthy stand out to you from the Maryland and Iowa games in the Nebraska football high school recruiting front?
Well, I think the big takeaway from Iowa is that Grant Brix was in town in Lincoln and not in Manhattan, Kansas. And I think prior to that, a lot of folks were joining me and putting their predictions in for Grant Brix to Nebraska. I think that there's a lot of evidence showing that Grant Brix is pretty close to either committing or announcing a commitment to Nebraska. And I think that that's huge because he slides right in as a number 1 rated player in the class, right ahead of Carter Nelson, just in front of, in fact. And then 2 of your top 3 guys in the class then are offensive tackles, with Talmua and Brix. And I think that that's got to be music to the ears of the Nebraska fans. So, and there you get your kind of tight end guy in Carter Nelson too, because he's not going to play really a true Y, like hand in the dirt Y. He's going to be a hybrid Y, a guy that can do even some jumbo X stuff. So you're getting a weapon there with Carter Nelson too, that people aren't going to know like how to defend him and what to put there. So if you got a second corner, like a field corner that's going to have to cover him, there's going to be some big time mismatches, I think, that Carter Nelson can create for Nebraska. So those top 3 guys, if Brix is in, those top 3 guys for Nebraska, that's pretty important. Those are 3 very important guys in the class. Now, keeping a hold of Carlin Jones, that's going to be interesting. See what happens with the Ohio State official visits in December, particularly if Jones bumps from the 8th to the 15th. That might mean that they're filling up and he's kind of a second option.
Let's stick on the offensive line because you had an article up about a 2026 offensive lineman, Justin Morales, who got an offer. What can you tell the people about him without giving everything in your article away and on 3?
He's going to be a dude. He's a 2-way lineman, but I think that people are kind of seeing him more towards an offensive tackle. He was supposed to be in Nebraska this last weekend. Travel costs just kind of got in the way. They're looking at trying to plan something a little bit more out so they can kind of get a little bit more break on the travel prices. But I think Nebraska's in a really good spot for him. I think he's really into big time game day environments and atmospheres. That's one of the reasons why he wanted to take a visit to Nebraska in the first place. He wanted to kind of take that all in. So interesting guy there. I got a 2025 defensive lineman that picked up an offer this last weekend, a story coming up tonight. And then Nebraska offered a 2026 quarterback last week, and I'll have that story up on
Thursday, Husker Online, part of the On3 network. Look for the name Brian Munson in the byline. You'll get all the information you need. Brian does join us at 3:30 on Mondays here as well. Brian, as always, really appreciate your time. Hope to catch up with you again as we get closer to the opening of the transfer portal next week.
All the madness is about ready to start, guys.
Stay tuned for that. There he is, Brian Munson of On3 with us here on our Allo VIP line, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We'll step aside, bring Stricky back in. We will wrap up on the block from here. No crossover because DP&J are live at Tanner's Bar and Grill for Old School. That'll come your way at 4 o'clock or shortly thereafter. Don't go anywhere. Stricky and I will wrap up on the block, get you set up for Old School in just a minute.
The holidays are drawing closer, and there's not many things better than getting the gift of relaxation. Not just for yourself, but for anyone in your life.
During November, for every service you get at the Body Shop, you get entered into their drawing for a free massage gift certificate equal to your last service. This goes all the way to the week before Christmas, so book your appointments now at thebodyshoplincoln.com and treat yourself and loved ones today. The Body Shop at 48th and A.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today, with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today. Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Vershawn Jackson for Brant Excavating. Brant's been in business for 29 years, and they specialize in a variety of things. If you're looking for someone to get the job done in precision demolition, excavating, trucking, mass grading, and site prep, Brant is the place to call. To set up a quote or learn more, call Brant Excavating at 402-474-4113 or go to brantexcavating.com. They're also hiring, so join the team today. Brant Excavating, a part of the Bauer brand, who reminds you, go Big Red!
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? At Warhorse Sportsbook, their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino in Lincoln or Horseman's Park in Omaha, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Constructors Inc., a Nebco company, is now hiring heavy equipment mechanics to maintain fleet equipment and vehicle operations. Constructors offers mechanics a competitive salary, 4-day work weeks with overtime options, a $5,000 hiring bonus, a tool allowance, and great benefits. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. Apply today for their mechanic positions. Visit constructorslincoln.com.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Tune in to the Malone Radio Show from 9 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night to learn more about the Malone Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. It's the Malone Radio Show every Sunday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through November 28th is spend $75 and get a 3-pound prepackaged chuck roast for free. Limit 3 per visit while supplies last.
Also, through the 28th, get 20% off all spices. Don't forget there are 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Old School with DP and J.
But he goes on this thing, and he gave all this philosophy, but what he would always say rings to all of the stuff from football. He goes, stick to your plan, anticipate, don't implement. And then he would go. Then he goes further. He goes, trust no one, trust nothing. Fight only the battle you're paid to fight. And I'm just,
if that ain't ring true on that last play, stick to the plan. Do not deviate.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the block one final time. Big thanks to Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul for sponsoring our show, and a big thanks to Charlie Proper Interiors. If you're looking for a way to spice up your home for the holidays, don't make it harder than it needs to be. Nobody gets a space better for the holiday season than Charlie Proper Interiors. Nick and Donovan are your go-to interior designers for the holiday season. Fill out the form on their website at charlieproper.design. That's the best way to get a hold of them, or you can give them a call at 601-228-2790. Again, Charlie Proper Interiors, online at charlie, proper.design. Couple things to finish out here, Stricky. First of all, on the Christmas thing, Nyla, we know you're in here putting up a Christmas tree. I never said I would never look at your tree. My issue was you put it up before Thanksgiving. I'm a big Thanksgiving guy. We had to hold off on it. You chose to put it up early. I looked at it on Friday. It looked very nice. I looked at it on Saturday and Sunday. Looked very nice. Good job again today. It's still there, but you put it up before Thanksgiving. That was my only problem with the tree. But to the text line here, real quick, Stricky, on Nebraska men's basketball, 2 things. First thing is the text line is saying 2-2 is the worst case scenario for Nebraska men's basketball in this next 4-game stretch. 3-1 or 4-0 seem like, far reaches at this point, given just the number of tough games you play in pretty quick succession. If you look at Nebraska's record over the next 4 games, where does it have to be for you to feel comfortable with this team and its postseason prospects?
I just think the quality of the win, right? Right now, Michigan State is gettable. I think they're a little vulnerable. Let me pull it up real quick, so that way I'm just not.
They're 3-3 and they're shooting like 16% from 3-point range this year. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's. Listen, I honestly don't think that can continue, because they're actually they're better shooters on this team than they've ever had at any point in time, right? So Minnesota is still in a rebuild. They've lost one of their best players. Their big man that's returning. Gosh darn it, the young fella. He was young last year. Joseph? Yes, Joseph. Now he's solid. He's solid. He's going to be tough. But then you've got 4 bodies now that you can throw at him, which you didn't have last year. But then they lost one of their best scorers in the transfer portal.
Battle went to Ohio State.
Right. So you can't, that's tough to replace. And I don't think they did, right? I don't think they were able to do that. So that's one thing that's a gettable game. Obviously it's on the road. It's tough to play up there, like in the barn. So it's tough. But then you get Michigan State at home. Michigan State is very vulnerable. Again, it's guard play. This is why the focus and you're really trying to hone in on making sure that you handle out front on the defense and take care of that stuff so that those percentages go up. And then you get another chance of redemption against Kansas State. Now, Kansas State, let's be honest, they lost a lot too. And I honestly, they're not the same looking team that they were, the one that went deep into the NCAA tournament. So Those are all quality wins, and I think if you get 2 or 3 of them, that still puts you in a quality category. Again, it's not going to matter all that stuff early on. It's going to be what you do in conference. It's going to be you have to hold serve in conference play, and then you have to go on the road and do what you're going to have to try to do on December 6th is go into Minnesota. You've got to get games like that. Because then you'll come back, you'll have North Carolina, you'll have South Carolina State. That home stretch, again, you should be able to take care of that 3-game home stretch and getting Indiana at home. Indiana's not the same Indiana that they've had over the years. Now, they're going to play defense, though, but defensively, they're going to get after you. They're going to hound you. So if you're going in there turnover prone and into that game and you just think that the best thing about it is at home, but if you go into that game just lackluster as far as taking care of the ball, they'll get you because they're going to take advantage of mistakes that you make. So I think it's just the quality wins. I think the games that they play in conference early on outside of Michigan State, because they've got 2 good guards, but I think they've got the depth to handle those guards now. But Wisconsin doesn't scare me. And then you finally get to Purdue early in January. So the schedule's not crazy. You can actually run a good set of wins in conference play if you handle home and go and get a Rutgers on the road. You know what I mean? You go
last year,
right? You go get them. Go get them on the road. You're going to get Indiana on the road. You're going to get Penn State at home. You've got a dual set against Michigan. Michigan's down, right? You got to go up to Northwestern and see if you can steal one. Make it tough in Illinois. So I just think you've got to handle yourself and then just give yourself a chance, but don't do what Nebraska football did. Don't go bank your opportunities early so that you don't have all that pressure trying to, go and add some stuff to the win column late. Just that way you can just still play your style of ball.
Last thing then, Stricky, Nebraska has a week off, no midweek game this week. They played yesterday. Their next game is against Creighton. Do you like that week off to get something installed and get, all the legs as fresh as they can be? Or would you like one more tune-up midweek like Creighton has before this game on Sunday?
I like healthy. Get healthy. Get your mind right. It's kind of like, you know what you do to a hamster on the wheel, right? You want that hamster to run. You want that hamster to chase. You put the carrot out on the track for the horses. You put the rabbit on the track for the greyhounds. Create that type of scenario to where they're excited, they're anxious, but they're not fidgety, right? I think it's a long enough stretch that it gives you like, yeah, let's go. But then you're going to be able to leave it all on the court. There's no excuses, because if you go out there lackluster, you ain't got no one to blame but yourself, and the coaching staff can jump all down your, all down your back, your neck, put a gorilla on you. They can do all that stuff because you didn't give the effort that you should have been able to, because there's no excuse. So I think it can play good for them.
Stricky, glad you're back home in the 402. I will look forward to seeing you in studio tomorrow, my friend. Mañana indeed. Big thanks to Mary Ellens. Big thanks to Starter Heyman, Allo, Charlie Proper, Interior, all of our great sponsors here for On the Block and at 93.7. The Ticket. DP&J are on the other side for Old School. They're live at Tanner's Bar and Grill, 30th and Yankee Hill. Don't go anywhere. Old School comes your way next on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
If your car has sent you to the sidelines, Eustace Body Shop can help. With gold-class certified technicians, OEM parts, and free loaner cars, Eustace Body Shop is your best choice this Husker season. And with 6 locations across central and eastern Nebraska, we've got you covered, whether you're rooting at home or you're headed to Memorial Stadium. Get a free online quote at EustaceBodyShop.com, and let's get you back in the game.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at